Thank you, thank you. I want all of you to imagine that there's a child in front of you, and that you tell this child, if you're not intelligent, you'll never be successful. It's a cruel thing to say to a child. And yet it happens every day. It's even happened to most of us when we were kids. Think about it. We were told that if we get the best grades, we'll get into the best colleges and then the best companies. In other words, we've been told that academic intelligence is the guaranteed path to professional and financial success. But that theory never really sat well with me. And that's because when I was 17 years old, I asked one of the smartest students in my entire school to help me prepare for the SATs. And on the problems that I struggled with, he was able to answer them in his head in less than 20 seconds. And that made me question why. Why did I have to work so hard for the potential of good grades or a high test score? And he didn't. What if intelligence, like athleticism, is a natural gift? I love basketball, but no matter how hard I practice or work on my craft, I'm never going to share the court with LeBron James. I have a limit to my basketball skills, just like I have a limit to my academic intelligence. And as I got older, I observed something interesting. There were so many people who found success, and they did not need straight A's, a high GPA, or an Ivy League degree. What I found is that they had something more important. What if it's not intelligence, but confidence that equals success? Specifically, self-confidence. And unlike intelligence, there's no limit to self-confidence. Self-confidence is believing in yourself and trusting your abilities. It's discovering your potential and embracing your limits. It's having the guts to take action without fearing failure. And it's at being peace with your true self. What stops so many people from finding success, including those with high intelligence, is the negative self-talk, the limiting beliefs, the self-doubt, the fear of failure, the feeling of envy, the feeling of regret. Basically, all the ingredients that can kill self-confidence and stop you from taking action. I have two amazing daughters. Both of them are in middle school. And my goal is for them to get through their schooling years with as much self-confidence as possible, especially because of the stories I hear. My youngest told me about a classmate who got a 92 on a math test and started crying because apparently that grade was grounds for punishment from the parents. When did perfection become the standard for success? I read a statistic that said 8 out of 10 girls avoid standing in front of an audience due to low body confidence. That's why people struggle to find success, because they're constantly told they're not good enough. It has nothing to do with intelligence. It has everything to do with self-confidence. The greatest gift we can give our kids is self-esteem, believing in themselves and loving themselves. It's also the greatest gift we can give ourselves. And the good news is anyone can develop self-confidence. And I'm going to show you how. When I run my leadership workshops at companies and MBA programs, I meet professionals at every level. And those that have the most self-confidence and are the most successful have a very simple mindset. Anytime they come across something challenging or an unknown or a limiting belief, they have a specific thought they activate in their mind. And I took the liberty to sum it up in these 4 words. Let me explore this. Let me explore this. What I found is that the most confident people have an explorer's mindset. Explorers act on their curiosity. They don't shy away from it. They take the risk of heading into uncharted waters, knowing that the journey can take a long time and that they will hit rough waters along the way. And failure doesn't stop them from going back. An explorer's mindset is all about discovery. Let me tell you about one of the scariest times in my life. In my 2 decades as an entrepreneur, I've owned a number of businesses. And some have failed. That's okay. It's the life of an entrepreneur. One of those failures was devastating, where I almost lost everything. That one broke my self-confidence. So I went on a journey of exploration to rebuild my self-confidence. First, I focused on my mental health. That's a non-negotiable for anyone and everyone. While on that journey, I put my explorer's hat on and I followed these 5 rules. The first rule, don't go at it alone. I leaned on my support system. I found the few true friends who were there for me. But the pillar of my support system is my wife. She's the stability in the household so that I can take all the risks. And when I have limiting beliefs, she's the one that would say to me, you got this. For all of you, find your support system. Friends, family, significant others, colleagues, coaches, mentors, anyone who can consistently remind you of your value and worth. Success comes in the company of others. Rule number 2, explore the scary. Starting something new is scary. Failing is scary. But when things get scary, it's because of that negative self-talk. When I heard those voices, that was my signal that I'm on the right path. It meant keep going, don't stop. And when those voices came, I just did what the opposite of what those voices said. Rule number 3, don't expect, don't assume. After that devastating failure, I was building what is my current business today. If a sale did not come through, if a customer ghosted me, if a sure bet did not pan out, I made sure not to go down the rabbit hole of worrying why or assuming the worst. And expectations often lead to disappointment. I have a motto: why wait around when you can be out there exploring? Rule number 4, don't get distracted. When life gets you down, it's very easy to compare yourself to other people's success. I avoided the distraction by staying in my lane. We all aren't running the same race, and all of our journeys are very different. There is no point to distract ourselves by comparing each other. I also avoided distraction by ignoring the noise. There's no shortage of hypocrites and haters out there who will tear your self-confidence down if you allow it. In fact, that's why rule number 1 is so important. Because if you surround yourself with a solid support system, they'll make sure that you stay focused. And finally, rule number 5, just take action. On your road to success, if you hesitate, if you don't try, if you don't put yourself out there, if you don't shoot your shot, if you don't show up, if you don't explore, that's how you lose out on opportunities. Think about it like this. If you don't take action, how will you know your abilities? If you don't test your limits, how will you know your potential? If you don't experience failure, how will you adapt and improve? If you don't explore, how will you find that road to success? I want all of you to have this one thought, if anything. The key to self-confidence is taking action because it makes you a doer. And the difference between the dreamers and the doers is that the doers will consistently take a punch in the face from life, get knocked down, get back up, dust themselves off, put on their explorer's hat, and stare into the unknown journey in front of them, knowing they will eventually get through it, all because of one thought that activates in their mind. And it's the one thought I want all of you to activate in your mind. Let me explore this. My name is Rushab Kamdar. Thank you.